What up? Good morning. Y'all now tuning in to Punch Wrong Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Woo, shot himself. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, man, we got a great event, February 22nd. Shout out to Turkey Out Shake, a.k.a. Aladdin without the carpet, a.k.a. Vergil Ortiz versus Madrimov. I like that fight. As we all know, Vergil Ortiz, a phenom in the 154-pound division, is going to do Terence Crawford's dirty work because Terence Crawford couldn't finish his breakfast with Madrimov. Because in a fight like that, Terence Crawford was supposed to do what Floyd Mayweather did with Luis Castillo, what he did with Marcos Maidana, and give Madrimov a rematch. Because a lot of people out there feel like Terence Crawford did lose to Madrimov, a 10-0 guy that truly never beat anybody, elite in the sport of boxing. Terence Crawford around that time was regarded pound for pound, 1, 2, 3, you can flip it around. Really looked at ordinary. And now Vergil Ortiz, who, had a tough fight in his last outing versus Bowichuk, is going to be fighting Madrimov and doing Terence Crawford's dirty work. And the good thing about this matchup is it's going to humble, once again, this matchup in September with Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, in which I believe is a massive mismatch. And I know that Turkey Out Shake, a.k.a. Aladdin without the carpet, is trying to mind F the people and trying to promote this fight as a great fight, a big fight. Yeah, it's going to be probably a nice, lucrative fight because of the names and the matchup and the mind effery that's going to be taking place and promoting these fights. And of course, mass media in the sport of boxing is not going to tell the truth because, folks want their media credentials and want to be part of Riyadh season and everything that's going on with Turkey Out Shake. So people are really not going to give their real opinions. So it takes people like me, Punch Wrong Boxing, and others who have the heart and the cojones to give them the real opinion, the real assessment of a fight like Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, which is a garbage, trash fight. And especially even Canelo Alvarez fighting William Skull. But not every fight is a bad fight, especially when it comes to Turkey Out Shake. As we all know that Vergil Ortiz is going to be facing Madrimov in the as an undercard to the rematch and a great anticipating rematch between Beterbiev and Bivol. So see, you got to give credit where credit is due and also give constructive criticism. So I believe that's going to be one of my favorite matchups, even though there's some great matchups in that card. Of course, Stevenson versus the Phenom, Kid Austin. You got Danny Dubois versus Joseph Parker. That's going to be a 50-50 fight. I don't even know who's going to win that fight, for real. Sometime I'm saying, man, maybe Danny Dubois is going to edge it, or probably Joseph Parker is going to edge it. But that's going to be a great fight. But Vergil Ortiz, man, I believe he got the best left hook in the game. I think he got a dog in him. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time you saw Vergil Ortiz, even if it's versus Mean Machine or Bowichuk, go through a little bit of adversity, man, this guy comes out and blazing with some heat. Vergil Ortiz got one of those fighting spirit that I'm a huge fan of. Like, if you would give a pound for pound when it comes to fighting spirit, like pound for pound, who got the most dog, right? Man, you will say maybe Vergil Ortiz is top 5 because, man, when he's facing adversity, like I said, man, he's just it takes him to a whole nother level. He's a very entertaining fighter, and Madrimov is a good fighter as well. You know what I'm saying? He did a good job with the likes of Terence Crawford. Again, I do believe that he won by 1 round when I saw the fight and I did the live commentary. It's still up and you can go check it out. But I think that Vergil Ortiz beating Madrimov is going to humble people and what people think about Bud Crawford. Now, I know sometimes the triangle theory doesn't count, but in the sport of boxing, people do go off by it. If Vergil Ortiz does beat Madrimov, and it's going to look like Bud Crawford was a shell of himself, Bud Crawford's going to look like he was probably a little bit washed up. I ain't going to say fully washed up. People like to say, well, Madrimov, he presented a tricky style. If you're a pound-for-pound fighter, like a Terence Crawford, of which a lot of people felt like he's pound-for-pound number 1, number 2, versus a 10-0 guy, there shouldn't be no type of tricky style. That's what makes you pound for pound, that you could, because you're elite versus any style at any weight. That's what makes you pound for pound. You can't be like a pound for pound and be like, oh, yo, you get outboxed. You can't figure out the feints. That's not a pound for pound guy. A pound for pound guy always figured it out and looks spectacular when he does figure it out. Especially when you're fighting a guy like Madrimov. It's not a contradiction to, oh, but you saying that Mayweather gave rematches and stuff like that. He looked a little bit, vulnerable. Yeah, versus champions like Luis Castillo versus champions like Marcos Maidana. It's not the same as Madrimov. Madrimov was not a champion, never was an elite fighter, never fought an elite fighter. You know what I'm saying? So for that, Bud Crawford, we do it to a lot of fighters in terms of performances and guys that they shouldn't be performing like that. We drop them on the pound for pound list. But a lot of these medias won't do it because they need to keep Bud Crawford up there so it could justify a good matchup with Canelo Alvarez. They need to big up Madrimov like if he was a two-division champion or like a unified champion, so they could big up the Canelo Alvarez versus Bud Crawford. Vergil Ortiz is going to take care of business, I believe so. I think he's going to have a spectacular performance. He's going to send a statement. And if he does, and when he does, people are going to be calling out Bud Crawford to face Vergil Ortiz instead of Canelo Alvarez. Because and this is what I mean, if Vergil Ortiz does good and sends a statement and beat Madrimov in a spectacular fashion, if you believe that Bud Crawford can face Canelo Alvarez, people are going to start talking maybe Vergil and Canelo. And it shouldn't be like that. But the thing is, I feel like it's a disrespectful. I think that Canelo Alvarez is actually disrespecting himself. You know what I'm saying? Fighting Bud Crawford. I think that Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is just as much as a clown show. I'm just a realist. You know what I'm saying? I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hardcore boxing fan, man. I got an eye for the sport, and we all know the real people that don't have affiliations with Terence Crawford, whether a fighter, a trainer, and stuff like that. They're not gonna say the truth in camera. But let me say it like this: I had enough conversation with people behind the scenes. And I'm not gonna even mention their names, but because I know that, they want to be fair to Bud because they know Bud. But behind the scenes, man, they be saying that Bud is gonna get his ass whooped. They don't even think that is a good fight. But that's what it is in the sport of boxing. But Vergil Ortiz, I'm not gonna say that he's not gonna struggle versus Madrimov. But even if he does struggle or go through adversity, he's gonna overcome it like every other fight. But I think it's going to be a spectacular performance with Vergil Ortiz. And it's really going to humble a lot of people about where you think Bud is at. What you think about the fight with Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford. I think that if Vergil Ortiz times Madrimov's feints real good, if he goes out there and not second think like a Bud Crawford did, and I don't think that Vergil Ortiz is like that. Vergil Ortiz is the guy that always sets the tone. He's always in the attack. I think he's going to do a better job than Bud Crawford. A way better job, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all think about the fight. Which is your favorite fight in that card? And if Vergil Ortiz does beat Madrimov, what do you think of Bud? And what would you think about the matchup with Canelo Alvarez versus Bud? Would you want to see Vergil Ortiz versus Bud Crawford in June? You know what I'm saying? And so he could be a tune-up or whatever, even though that we already see that Bud Crawford is at 186 pounds, which I think is still going to hurt Bud Crawford to bulk up. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the same mistake that other people have done. Again, man, it's all fair play. I think that Bud Crawford is going to get his butt whooped by Canelo Alvarez to the point that he's going to be eating from a straw. You know what I'm saying? If Bud Crawford goes at Canelo Alvarez like a lot of people think that he's going to go, because people be saying, well, Bud Crawford is not going to fight like Jermell Charlo. He's really going to try to win. Bud Crawford's not there to try to win. He's there to collect a paycheck. You know why he's not there to try to win? Because he's not taking a tune-up or anything of that nature. He's trying to save himself. Saving himself is going to get him hurt even more. I like Vergil Ortiz's spirit. I do like, especially especially Vergil Ortiz. If he does fly, if he does pass with flying colors, I would like to see one of these guys, Bam Rodriguez, David Benavidez, or Vergil Ortiz, to perform in May 3rd in Cinco de Mayo in Las Vegas, since Canelo Alvarez is not going to be fighting. He's not going to fighting anymore in Cinco de Mayo. So Canelo Alvarez is fighting Cinco de Mayo in America is no mas, because next year he's not going to be fighting in Cinco de Mayo as well. So I think that somebody should take that date, and hopefully it's going to be a Vergil Ortiz, Bam Rodriguez, or David Benavidez, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think, and let me know who y'all want to take over that date. Virgil, David Benavidez, or Bam Rodriguez, or even, hey, I don't think Navarrete look kind of sluggish and stuff like that, but Navarrete is a fan-friendly fighter as well, and he did beat Oscar Valdez. So those are the 4 guys, right, that's leading the way. Maybe a David Benavidez versus Suldo Ramirez, Mexican Independence Week, Let me know what y'all think, man. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. This is Punch Wrong Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine himself. Love you, God bless, and on to the next.